Hey guys, I wanted to make a little video about the challenges really that we've had over the last couple of weeks. I'm suffering from extreme burnout and exhaustion. I don't think that'll be any surprise to anybody who follows me on maybe Instagram or Twitter, where I share the stories of the dogs. We've had an incredibly tough, I was going to say couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. It's been unbelievably challenging. I'll take you through some of the things that have been happening at the moment, but I also wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk about anxiety, depression, addiction, whatever you want to call it. I just dropped the camera there. This video has been, I normally flick the camera on and just talk. This one I've like deleted it 10 times. I feel so bad. I tried to go for a walk outside to do it. Couldn't do it. I had to come back inside. I'm at burnout stage from rescuing the dogs at the moment, and I'm not scared to admit that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But first off, let's tell you about some of the dogs that we've had. I mean, just this week, we've got all our fingers crossed today because Mangosteen, who was shot, I can't even remember what day that was, probably Wednesday, was shot. He's having his operation as I speak, actually. That's one of the reasons for making the video, to distract myself. Should be a routine operation, but he's in a hospital quite a long way away, and he is getting his leg rebuilt, plates put in there. Complicated. I think the bullet shattered. That was one emotional thing, and then there'd been so many building up that I actually said, right, I need to go and stay in a hotel. So that's what I did last night. But before that, I was already thinking about that. Before that, yesterday morning, I got a call for Jimmy. Jimmy was the dog who'd been hit by a truck, and I picked him up. He's had his spine crushed. There's a little bit of good news today in that his back legs are moving, but it's so incredibly tough going and scraping dogs off the ground. Seeing the woman crying, I could feel the energy, the sort of nerves, just the fraught energy from the owners. They've come to visit him today from Earth, who helps me with the videos. He said he was struggling a bit this week as well after seeing so many things. It's new to him. He just makes videos. Suddenly he's out here with dogs. So you've got all these life or death situations, and then there's a big one happening at the moment that I kind of touched on, but maybe not everybody knows. Really confusing. We have 3 dogs. And it started with Panda, who came in sick. He's old, he's very overweight, and seemed pretty straightforward. Again, close to death. Took him to the vets. Liver failure, liver infection, very bad liver. So we're not thinking too much of it. Obviously very distressing to take, very emotional. You've got a dog dying in front of you, etc. But he's dog number 1, so we're observing him. Suddenly, the kennel beside him, Kerry, who's just had the huge operation with her, it was a massive operation. We took this huge lump off her back. I'm walking her on Sunday morning just this week, and she just drops like dead, nearly dead. Okay, darling, okay. I've seen enough dogs die at this stage to know she was close to death. Legs straight up in the air, like she was having a seizure or some sort of... Anyway, sort of calmed her down, and I got her to the vets as quickly as I could. I was on my own. The vets told us enlarged heart problems, etc. And we were like, okay, still no huge red flags. She's an older dog. She's had a huge operation. It's not unusual that she would have a heart problem. We sort of said, why would the vet not have spotted that before the operation? Was the question we asked ourselves. Anyway, suddenly, 2 days later, Donut, who's a dog who we had her spine crushed and we've taught her to walk again, she lives in a kennel beside them, and she just downhill. Now, she's very injured, but she's middle-aged, she's very healthy, she was coming around, she's full of energy, and she just went downhill like the other 2, like Kerry and Panda. So all of a sudden, myself and Sybil are in a panic, and I'm explaining this to you because I haven't slept a week all week, worrying about these situations. We started to sort of say to ourselves, hold on a second, 3 dogs here sleeping in kennels beside each other, all very sudden collapses. Yes, they have health issues, but they shouldn't be collapsing in the way they have. So running loads of tests, different vets, sending stuff to vets in Europe. Sybil's obviously a doctor herself. we're checking the bleaches, you know, cleaning products. Sybil was out checking the plants around the area, see if there was something that they could be eating. And we still haven't got to the bottom of it. Every test under the sun has been conducted. The dogs are still alive, but they're kind of like up and down. Now, one thing that'll help us massively is all you have to do is hit the subscribe and the like button down below. It helps spread the message about the dogs all over the world. And if you could just hit that subscribe button, we would be massively grateful. The way I think about it is I used to have Snoop, my own dog. You know, like most of you guys watching this probably have a pet or a dog. And when I used to have Snoop, you know, if he got a little cut paw or diarrhea or, you know, something sick, I would be fraught with worry. You know, pet owners, we all like worry like crazy, sick dogs. And so multiply that by about 1,000. I know it's a shelter we run. I know we've got like vets that we work with, Sybil, staff, all that, but I still think of them as my personal pets. So this huge toll this week has been insane. And I kind of write it off a bit. I mean, it's Mangustini was shot. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Like, it was fairly quick. We're good at it at this stage. We just go out there, got him out of the situation, got him to the vets. We knew he needed an x-ray. We knew to check his bloods, and then he's off to the hospital, and we find the money for the operation, and he gets treated. And I was screwed that night. I was really the onset of this depression I'm going to tell you about in a minute, and anxiety. And I was sort of there. I was like, why are you feeling like this, Niall? Like, why? You've been running, like my fitness running. You've been eating well. You've been doing your medication. Like, why are you like, you're too soft. Why are you like, you know, feeling like this? And then I caught myself and I was like, no, you picked up a dog who'd been shot this morning. That's not normal stuff to be going through. So there's those cases. There's also little Mars Bar who was under threat. Had to get him out of there. Somebody said they were going to take care of him, which, you know, in any other language means they're going to kill him. So I had to get him out of there. I mean, that wasn't hard, but still, it's obviously a worry. And then it's only 2 weeks ago since we had the dogs poisoned. And even Alba, that's only maybe, I don't know, it's probably a month ago now, is it? So there's so many dog things, and they really built up. But the reason I wanted to tell you is, like, I have the worst anxiety and depression today imaginable. It's been going on all week. I've been battling it like crazy, and I wanted to talk about it because I'm the CEO of Happy Doggo, and I'm the one running charity and doing all that. And, you know, there's staff, there's donors, there's partners, there's, you know, everybody online, whatever. I should probably, in my position, by, not law, that's the wrong word, by, what's the word, by, you know, in the world, people should feel like they should keep up pretenses. If you're a big important sports person, or you're a CEO of a telecom company or a bank or whatever, you can't be making videos, a charity like I'm talking about, you can't be making videos saying that you're depressed and you're anxious and you're burnt out, you know? You probably can't, but I'm doing it anyway because I know that it helps people. And the reason I'm doing it is because that's me, and I'm doing my thing. But you don't have to be in a position with a lot of staff or responsibilities. I know from experience, you can be a single mother, you can be a lawyer in a high-flying job, you can be a chef, you can be a bus driver, you can be a astronaut. I don't think there's going to be many astronauts watching this video, but you can be, you know, what I'm saying is you could be a married person with 2 perfect kids, a perfect house, lovely salary, great savings, parents, everything, and you still have depression and you still have anxiety, and that's totally normal. So I want to destigmatize it as much as possible, and I've written about this before, but I just think you can never talk about it enough. I can't explain to you how bad it feels to have anxiety and depression. Well, I can explain it to you today. Like, I just went out to try and make this video, staying in the hotel to get away from work. And I was like, okay, people watch these videos, they don't want to just see like this, you know, a white screen. They want to see maybe there's a beautiful turquoise sea today. Like, I was like, I'll just walk along the beach. I couldn't do it. I could not walk along the beach. I kept seeing people. I was like, oh my God, somebody's going to ask me about dogs. Somebody's going to be like, why are you in a hotel? Why are you not helping the dogs? Why are you... It's not even that. It's like somebody might just ask you what time it is. Do you know? And if you've got depression, that is enough to terrify you. I know that sounds crazy. And the other thing is, like, okay, I don't look great, but if I was to like put myself up here like this and smile and like talk, you wouldn't know I had depression. Let's say that I'm just talking happy about dogs and everything's fine, and you know, like, we're gonna go and save 10 dogs today and like everything's great. That's what you can do when you've got depression. You can put an act on and you can pretend that everything's all right. To describe how I feel today, all across my chest, I have nervous tension. And I've had that all week. And before anybody worries, it's not a heart attack. I've had this my whole life. I even used to have to go and get tested, ECG, because I thought I was. It's not. It's anxiety. All across my chest. Can't breathe. Can't sleep. Woke up this morning. Like, I had breakfast and went back to sleep. So yeah, this morning, and my nightmare was that there's 2 dogs that I feed. People probably know if they follow me on social media. Is my brain's also incredibly slow. Is Angelina and Bob, and they live in a little shack. And I had this nightmare recurring where the shack had been burnt to the ground and it was all cinders, and the dogs are missing. And I was just getting there too late. So it just over and over, like hallucinogenic nightmares, I would nearly say. Like they're sort of nearly real life blended. You're half asleep, you're half dreaming. They're like, I've had nightmares. Everybody's had nightmares, but when you get depressed and burnt out, the nightmares are just horrific. So the only way I can fix it is slowing down. I think there's just too much mental pressure on me, and it's the dogs really, but there's also, like, I'll put a video in here, the stuff at the land at the moment. There's so many great people helping me, but Tina's hospital, electricity, water, we're building a kitchen. I was there yesterday, there must have been 40 people there surveying, doing stuff. There was sick dog coming in, there was people visiting their dogs who were sick. I was just like, oh my God. And every single person obviously wants to talk to me, which is fine, but it's very, very tough when you're burnt out. So I don't want to sound like this is a moaning video, because I'll tell you about some great wins we're having now in a second. And the general trajectory of everything is great, but I am definitely burnt out. There's a lot of things that burn me out that are non-dog related. And like I said, I've got great people helping. But like, for example, the book is coming up. I have to do a book tour, which I'm very excited about. Now I am. It's just the travel is the hard part and being away from the dogs. But I get to meet lots of people. There's also, like, we're a charity now, so we're filing our first finances for 2024, and we have to get finish our audit. There's like a lot of staff, you know, to deal with. There's a lot of bureaucracy, I would say is the word. You know, like, we need permits, we need certifications, we need, you know, there's a lot of stuff there that is very stressful, if I'm honest with you, and we're getting through it. But suddenly, I would say, in and around Happy Doggo, it used to be me feeding the dogs on the bike 3 years ago. Literally 3 years ago. Still, it was just me. I would say, and I'm making this up, like, open to correction. I'm not making it up, I'm estimating. I would say there are 100 to 200 people involved in Happy Doggo, between staff on the ground, staff in the UK and Ireland and America, partners, that's a huge one. So I have a huge responsibility there. We fund the sterilisation of 6,000 dogs every month, so that's like $100,000 and $150,000 more. that has to be found every month. There's huge medical bills for dogs. There's dogs being shot. There's, sorry, I was counting up people, partners, staff, feeders around the island. Like, we provide food for 1,000 dogs, kitchen staff who cook all the food for the dogs, vets. Like, we must support, like, I don't know how many vets we're supporting at the moment, but the amount of dogs we send them is insane. Maybe, okay, between I'd say 100 is fair enough, between all the sterilisation teams and all that. Like, we don't employ them directly, it's their partner charities, but we give them the money for the sterilisations. So there's a lot of people, and that's before you include all the people who follow online and stuff. I don't want to say that's pressure, because everybody will write to me, as they always do so nicely, and be like, don't feel any pressure, you don't have to post for us. And that, if anything, online is a positive. People are so nice. So, but it's still, it's another box to tick. It's another, like, if I don't post for a day, people are like, what's going on, where are you? So yeah, I think it's just been a build up of a lot of different things, but if you look at the positives, like, I'm sitting here. Probably the reason I wanted to make the video when I was actually depressed is because I always said I would make a video to show people that maybe you look normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could get away with going into an office. I'd probably have to, like, shave a little bit and, smarten up and put a fake smile on, but I don't look sick. You can get away with it, and that's very dangerous, because there's people in your office, there's people in your school, in your football team, in your whatever you do, there's people putting a happy face on it. Do you know what I mean? There's I don't have a boss to answer to. I don't have one thing that I think would be very tough, for example, that I've thought about, is like, if you had kids and a husband or a wife or a family, and they didn't know, or you were sort of only figuring out that you had depression, or you're scared to tell them, or something like that. Like, that would be very tough. I'm on my own. I can lock myself in a room. I can say nothing. I can get a can of Coca-Cola. I can eat a pizza. I can hide under the bed covers, and I don't have to really answer to anybody. If I had to keep a brave face on it today and go and cook the dinner for the kids, or pick up my sick parents or something, like, don't know how I would do it. So just a shout out, two things. One, to the people who have depression, I'm with you. It's not nice. There's always people who are worse than you. I used to say, when I talk about depression, I'd be like, just go for a run, go and take a few steps, try and get outside. And then I never thought, people would message me and they'd be like, I'm 74 and I'm disabled. How do you want me to go for a run? So I hadn't thought of those type of things. There's always somebody who has it worse than you. So if you're suffering, I'm with you, and it does always pass. That's the one thing I would say. And then if you know somebody who's suffering, be there as much as you can, and give them a bit of space at the same time. I know those are contradictory bits of advice, but sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody. Like today, a man just passed me on the stairs, and I was sort of, him and his wife, I stepped out of the way to give them space to come through, and he was like, oh, thank you very much, how you doing? And I was like, why are you talking to me? Why are you asking me how I'm doing? I feel like death. You shouldn't be talking to me. Do you know, like, people who have anxiety or depression will know what I'm talking about. A simple interaction like that. I know when it hit the rock bottom for me this week was with Hank. Hank was driving me crazy. And I love Hank. He's my dog. But I'd be struggling all day to help the dogs. Gunshots, deaths, whatever. All sorts of the problems I described earlier. And then I'd get home and Hank would be wagging his tail. And he'd be just wanting to go for a walk. And I was like, Hank, why are you doing this to me? Why, I'm so grumpy. Or, I'd take him for his walk. And I'd be like, okay, I'll take it as much as I can to get him tired, and then he'll stop. And he would come in and just, like, nudge me in the head, which I normally love, and I normally would play with him a bit. He'd nudge me in the head, and I'm like ready to kill him. That's the level of, not anger, it is anger. It's like irritability, anxiety, angst, rottenness that you feel inside. That even the people you love, the things you love, you just can't even deal with them. So that's what anxiety and depression is. I know this is a long video. I just thought it might help some people. I always used to, when I had depression and when I was still drinking, actually, especially, I would look on YouTube, people like Ronnie O'Sullivan, people like Tyson Fury, the boxer, used to talk about it. There'd be a handful of people who would talk about depression, and I'd be trying to find nuggets in there that applied to my life. So that's why I do it now. I'm like, it would be easier for me to just lie in the bed and say nothing, but I thought I would share a few words. So I'll end it with good news, because it's the good news that keeps you going, right? Snickers just arrived in America. Unbelievable. I saw her video this morning, or photos of her arriving in America. Mars bar is safe at the land. It's not going to get anything bad happen to her. Jimmy is moving his legs, so he might have his chances. His parents are there with him today. And the reason I'm saying that's good news, is because I just see all the Thai staff. It's a Thai rescue. The Thai people are there, owners, everybody's coming in. It's my dream of what a charity would look like in Thailand. It's like, we're making a difference. Even though Jimmy might not live, he's surrounded by love and good care and humans who love him, and that's why we do this. So that's another win. We're sterilising all the dogs. Every day there's 1,000 dogs getting fed. The hospital, even though it's so stressful for me and so many things going on at the land and there's just an avalanche of things on my plate at the moment, there is a hospital being built. And our field hospital is practically ready. Our kitchen is practically ready. Crazy good stuff is happening. We are saving so many dogs at scale, but it's just taking its toll on me. I think I can deal with everything. When I talk about the hospital staff, accounts, partners, that stuff is actually easy for me. I have brilliant staff, don't worry about that. It's it's just when there's so many things that just they become harder. What really hurts me is the dogs. When there's dogs between life and death, especially those 3 dogs that I explained, Panda, Kerry and Donut. I'm not blaming ourselves, but I'm we can't get to the bottom of it, and they're in our care, and that's very stressful. And we've also got a gunshot victim and Jimmy in the container with his paralysed back legs. So those are the ones that have really tipped me over the edge. It's the dogs between life or death. Everything else is a walk in the park. Everything else, and even those things I love, because if we weren't doing what we were doing, Jimmy would have died out there on the streets on his own crying, and Mangosteen, who was shot, wouldn't have got treatment, and would be, I don't know, maybe he would have got treatment, but we were able to do it for him, and we'd do it in a really good way and get him operated on, etc. So there's so many wonderful things happening. I just want to say thank you all for supporting me. Recently, those comments and stuff that I see are just, do you know what, it doesn't even feel real to me. When I read the comments, or people send donations, or people send support, I'm on my own here, and I just help the dogs, but I know they're real, because we're not paying for the operations with smiles. We need the money to do it, but it just feels so surreal that there's so many people helping, and this kind supporting words, and that we're making such a difference. So I'm genuinely very, 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 very happy at the moment. I'm just physically, mentally burnt out, shattered, exhausted. But I wanted to make this video to explain that to you, and also maybe give somebody hope out there who's also feeling a little down, under the weather, and depression, anxiety. It can happen to the best of us, and more people have it than you think. So don't beat yourself up about it. I'm going to rest, get back up on the horse and go again and try and help as many dogs as possible. Thank you for watching, and look after yourselves.